Gayle Williford is an extension agent based in Berkeley County, and it turns out that she is from Little River, where Pat McDaniel, who works with me in my office, is from. And I think your uncle was her school principal.
Yes, yes, that's
It's a
correct.
small world sometimes, isn't it?
Sure is.
Yeah.
Yes, it
But
is.
anyway, now you are helping people there, and you're helping 4-Hers, and you're helping people with food and nutrition, trying to make sure that we make the best choices in our diet, because it makes such a difference in our lifestyle and our health.
Yes, we feel so much better when we're healthy.
And one of the things that we, for a long time, kind of had a bad rap, Gayle, was eggs, because we didn't really understand all the connections between eating eggs and if it had effect of the cholesterol in our body. Now, we have to have cholesterol to stay alive,
yes,
and our bodies produce it. So what have they figured out? Does eating foods with cholesterol, is that what triggers our dietary cholesterol?
They have done more research to determine that dietary cholesterol, the cholesterol in eggs, for instance, is not going to raise our blood cholesterol, so we can still eat eggs.
And why would we eat eggs, besides the fact they taste so good?
Well, we need the protein. We're getting a really good source of protein. They're low in calories. They're only about 70 calories for a large egg. And they are good for our mental health. They help us stay full, feel full longer when we eat them in the mornings. Yeah. The protein helps to build muscle. It helps repair our muscles. There's iron in them. They contain all of the nutrients that our bodies need. And they're a nice compact package as well. Yeah, and
inexpensive.
And very inexpensive.
Yeah, and available in so many different ways. And so right here we've got some these are cage-free brown eggs. We've got some grade A large eggs. One thing that any eggs that we find probably in the grocery store are going to have them is a sell-by date.
Yes.
And does that, if we get there and that's all there is, does that mean we have to go home and cook them all up that night, or do they have can they stay fresh after that sell-by date?
Those eggs will last in your refrigerator. If your refrigerator is cold enough, and that means basically 45 degrees or lower, they will keep for another 4 to 5 weeks.
Whoa.
And they're safe to eat.
Now, if I'm out at a farmer's market and somebody's got some beautiful blue eggs or some kind of, wonderful chicken egg, all the eggs that we see are going to have the same nutritional value.
Yes.
But sometimes it is fun to get some other kind of eggs. Tell me what I should look for. Should I make certain they've been refrigerated?
Yes, they need to be refrigerated. You want to make sure that the shells are not cracked. They need to have cleaned them. They should be keeping them nice and cold for you, though. And
one of the things that I thought was kind of fun, we were talking, since I knew you were going to bring eggs in, this is a certified South Carolina product, and these are quail eggs from Manchester Farms.
Yes.
And they are a lot of fun. It just goes to show you that eggs, there are other eggs besides chicken eggs.
That's right.
And many people like to get duck eggs. Bakers like to bake, they think they're better. So there's a wide variety of eggs, and I think now with the local foods movement, people who want to experiment a little bit can.
Yes.
But today we're just going to use some plain old chicken eggs because there's nothing wrong with them. And let's talk about how you boil up an egg.
All right. You're going to begin with however many eggs you're planning to cook in a pot large enough to hold them, and cover them with at least 1 inch of water. Bring them to a boil. Once they begin to boil, you want to turn the heat off, and cover them. You'll allow large eggs to stay in that water about 12 minutes, medium eggs 9 minutes, and once that time is up, drain them, cover them with some more cold water
to stop the cooking
and
process.
ice to stop the cooking process. Yes.
And then I have a little formula myself. I get the water boiling, put them in carefully, and don't boil the heck out of it. I keep it a simmer, and I cook them 15 minutes for a large egg, then pour the water off and put some cold water on. So whatever works for you, but the main thing we want to do is not overcook them, because what happens if we do that,
They get tough. They get tough for one thing. And then here we have some examples of an egg that was cooked for 9 minutes using the method that I just mentioned, and another egg that was boiled for a longer period of time. And this is that egg, because you can tell it's that egg because it has the dark greenish ring around the yolk.
It sure does.
That's a chemical reaction between the sulfur in the yolk and the white of the egg, and
then let's look at this one
in there.
that was done just perfectly. pretty big difference.
Right.
Now, I don't need to throw this one away.
No. It does change the flavor a little bit. The egg white is going to be tougher also on this egg. But, you know, if that's the way that you like yours, you can do that. But the correct way, or the way that we usually teach people to do it, for the best flavor, we want to cook them the shorter amount of time.
Well, you've got some perfectly cooked eggs here, and you've got a really cool recipe that we're going to use. It's so different, and it uses such interesting ingredients.
All right, so this recipe is for kale and sweet potato eggs, a salad made with kale and sweet potatoes, and it has a lot of different ingredients in it, but it's a new flavor twist, I think. So we've got some chopped kale.
And you use two different kinds of kale.
Two different kinds of kale.
One of them, you've got the regular curly, and then you call the other one something cool.
I like this one. I like to call it dinosaur kale.
Dinosaur kale. Okay.
So we've got the dinosaur kale and some baked sweet potatoes. So everything is prepared ahead of time.
So you torn all that up.
I've cut them into about half-inch slices. And in the bag, we're going to add a tahini dressing. Tahini is a sesame seed paste
that we use in hummus and things. A lot of us are kind of accustomed to it, don't you?
Yes, we are. We're seeing it more and more in many grocery stores. So we have some honey. Use my spatula.
Okay.
We have a little honey added to the tahini dressing that was prepared ahead of time. Vinegar. I'm sorry. Vinegar, dash of salt, and some black pepper, and that's going to be
And I think
combined.
Previously you put a little garlic in there.
Yes, garlic was already in it.
She's being careful about sensibilities and not cutting the garlic on the set.
So we're going to just shake that up.
All right.
And this is our dressing.
Now you've got, I think you said you're going to put it in this little baggie.
Yes.
And why are you doing it that way?
To mix it. So I prefer not to mix that with my hands.
Okay.
So this is going to tenderize the greens just a little bit, but also distribute it.
So all the greens will get nicely coated.
So we'll just add those on top of these.
Okay.
And if you have time to massage it more, you can do that.
I'm sorry, and I'll toss that a little bit while you go ahead with the next step. So what are we going to add next?
We're going to add farro. Farro is one of those new grains that is on the market.
One of the ancient modern grains,
An ancient modern grain.
Ancient modern grain.
Very high in protein and
fiber.
High in fiber as well. Similar to barley. Yeah. I like to compare it to barley.
And gives us a little bit of a nutty flavor.
Right. Some feta cheese.
Oh, yum, yum. So that it'll seem kind of Greek. Have that little Mediterranean aspect to it.
With all that garlic in it, especially.
Okay.
Some baked sweet potato.
Okay. And that's going to make it pretty too, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah. And then?
I think I'll add the nuts next.
Okay.
Chopped walnuts or pecans, whichever you prefer to use.
Well, it is South Carolina. We could throw pecans in.
Yes. And some egg. So there are 2 boiled eggs here. And so that's it. And this is a salad that you could prepare the night before. I've got a little lunch box up here with me.
I see here you've got a nice way to, you said because the kale has a little more substance than lettuce. It holds up to being dressed. You can take this to work the next day or send it with your children to school.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a very simple salad to prepare, and you've got some sweet flavors, you've got chewy textures, you've got some soft textures, some smooth. It's just a nice blend of flavors for
the egg,
a salad.
Which is full of protein, helps us stay filled, gives us that feeling of fullness,
satiety,
helps us to keep from overeating, and gives us lots of nutrients that we need. We're going to put this recipe on our Facebook page, but if people want to know more about Clemson's food safety and nutrition and the programs that y'all provide, what's the best way to find that information, Gayle?
Call your local extension office, and we are scattered throughout the state, but call the extension office and they'll put you into contact with the person who handles your area. So please call us.
And y'all are doing wonderful programs around the state. I know that you go to senior citizens and give them instruction every month, and that y'all are also helping people in restaurants get certified.
Certified and serve safe.
Y'all are really providing services throughout the industry.
Yes.
And thank you for your support.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.